Hello, I'm the CommanderZander. I remember it so the nostalgia critic doesn't have to, and neither should you. Well, recently, Apple came up with 2 new iPhones, and that made me very, 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 very happy. Why? Because the phone screen sizes on both are much, much bigger than before. And to that I say, it's about fucking time, Apple! It don't took you so goddamn long. Keep it under control. So, thinking about that, it made me remind me of Steve Jobs and all the wonderful things that he did when he was around. And it's unfortunate of the passing that he had a few years ago, but Apple has continued to stay strong even after his loss. So, I figured I'd pay tribute to Steve Jobs with the recent unveiling of iPhones by reviewing the movie that was based on his life. I thought it was a pretty good movie. It's pretty much plain and simple, Jobs. This one starred Ashton Kutcher, whom you may have seen from That 70s Show, and 2.5 Men. Man. Losing the point. Okay. So, as you probably know, this is a biography of sorts about Steve Jobs' life. Kind of like what they did with the movie 3 when they depict Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s life. For those who care about NASCAR, which I'm sure there are plenty of you. So, without further ado, I give you Jobs. And no, I'm not giving you a job. This is the movie Jobs. Just to avoid any confusion, people. So we start with the other people who helped produce this movie. And the association stuff. And all these other people that produced and did all these movies. By the way, credit to the movie goes to them, as well as Universal, so props to them. This was a pretty decent movie in my book. And we begin with the Apple Town Hall staff meeting in 2001. This is where Steve Jobs unveiled the original iPod. This would change the way we listen to music forever, ladies and gentlemen. The iPod has been a sensational device. One that revolutionized our world today. And I know what you're thinking. Is that really Steve Jobs? No. That's Ashton Kutcher playing Steve Jobs. I gotta give him credit. He did one hell of a job portraying Steve Jobs. For a comedic guy, he took this seriously. Ashton, you're one of my favorite actors. You get a thumbs up in my book.
I'm really excited for you. We have something really special to share with you.
Now, Steve Jobs also came up with the iPhone, which combined the iPod and the phone.
3 million.
I'm the lucky owner of an iPhone. Yay. He's also come up with an iPad, which is essentially a tablet version of an iPhone. Essentially, that's like a portable PC to replace the laptop. Steve Jobs revolutionized Apple, and he revolutionized the technology world that we live in. And I absolutely admire him for the dedication and all the hard work he did, that he devoted to in order to revolutionize the world and make life better for all of us. So as you can see, Steve Jobs is introducing the iPod in this meeting.
We'll get to that in a minute. Because what it represents is as important as what it is. It's a tool for the heart. And when you can touch someone's
Doesn't he resemble Steve Jobs very well? It's like listening to Steve Jobs. It's so awesome. He did absolutely sensational.
It's a music player. It's 1,000 songs in your pocket.
Which at the time was revolutionary, by the way. That was impossible to do with past MP3 players. And he's about to unveil it right now. It's amazing that this movie was made in 2013. The iPod came out in 2001, the original one. I can't believe that they were able to find an original iPod just for that one scene. I give them props for doing that. I mean, and there it is. That's the original iPod. Like I mentioned, it revolutionized the way we listen to music. Steve Jobs was a revolutionizer. Every device he came up with, he changed the world. We then cut back to Steve Jobs in college. By the way, he went to Stanford. Tribute to my brother who loves Stanford so much. Even though he didn't go to Stanford. Actually, he didn't go to Stanford. As you see, he went to Reed College. But he resided in Palo Alto, and that's where Stanford is. But don't you just get the feeling all these smart, intelligent, revolutionary people, I mean, from Steve Jobs to, I mean, they've all resided in California. I mean, it's unbelievable how much talents come from California in regards to revolutionary things. Look at him, he looks like a fucking hippie. What are they trying to make us think? That this hippie would ultimately become the revolutionary device maker? That's a bit of a confusing message, don't you think? So we're going to get to a little bit further in the movie, and Steve Jobs is inspired. So we see all of these scenes that combine to make Steve Jobs inspired.
What are you going to do when you get back to the valley?
More hippie stuff! That's what you get from the 60s and 70s. Look at him. He's inspired. He's going to fall in the middle of nowhere. He's making Atari games.
No, it's still black and white. People want color. I'm gonna have color. So?
He wants color, Damon. You need to listen to Steve Jobs, people! God, Atari, don't you get it? Steve Jobs has an intelligent mind. This is from 1976, as you can see. Why would you disagree with Steve Jobs, who would ultimately be the greatest innovator in the history of the world? Why? Why would you do that, Atari? Why? When he says color, do it!
Yeah. And you're...
So he meets his buddy Steve Wozniak. These two would end up co-founding Apple to come up with the computer that would change the way forever.
I've been home. I understand the caliber of people who speak there. I'm not one of those people.
I'm telling you, this thing is amazing. You're gonna be great, Woz.
Yes, Woz. Listen to Steve Jobs. There's a reason why you're the Woz, great and powerful.
I want to get there first so we can present first.
You know, if we're gonna do this...
So eventually, someone's interested in their computer. But little do they realize that what you see there is what they're giving to him. He's expecting a full-blown computer. And this is Steve Jobs' home. Or his parents' home, that is. I think. Nope. Scratch that. That's not his home. That's just his girlfriend. Hey, he's pondering something. What to ponder, says Steve Jobs.
So what kind of investment are we talking?
So they go to work creating the computer. The computer that would revolutionize the way we would do stuff. Or so you would think.
As promised.
Like I said, all they did was that and not make the computer itself. Listen to this argument.
Where's the rest?
Rest. Result.
Master 50 computers. That's keyboards, cases, monitors, and power included. Not just boards.
Just boards. Excuse me.
Just boards? Man, you cannot sound more. Yeah. God, people.
How dare you? How dare
I think what my colleague is saying is that you're not seeing the possibilities here. That is indeed one.
Yeah, come on. Steve Jobs knows stuff. Yeah, you don't.
consumer? Well, then maybe your consumer should start to learn how to operate, how to even work that. Listen, boys, you sold me on a home computer. That's a keyboard and monitor. This is a board. Now, I'm sure this makes a very capable starter kit, but the everyday person, the kind of person that's not an engineer or in a computer club like you, they're not going to...
Yada, yada, yada. Let's move on. Let's get it. So someone finally gets interested in Steve Jobs' computer.
Are you even listening to me?
And then this happens. She's peeling carrots while hearing about
Steve, you
what
have
happened.
to talk to me.
Spoiler alert! She's having a baby! And apparently Steve Jobs is involved in this.
Blame this on me.
I'm not.
Steve Jobs is in his own little world right now.
Of
What? What the hell are you talking
You.
about?
when I was in India, you were with. You know,
Steve, are you crazy? You cannot put this all on me.
you can't do this to me right now. Not now.
Well, I'm sorry this isn't part of your plan.
I'm sorry you